The Jonathan Major case, we're moving on, I'm moving quickly. The driver testified, and the driver was like, I didn't see him hit her. You know, he did get a little aggressive when he tried to push her back in the car, but that was because she was already acting crazy.
My head was resting on his shoulder, Jabari told the jury. He was scrolling on his phone when a message popped up saying, I wish I was kissing you. Upset by the message, Jabari testified she grabbed the phone, and then I felt a heavy thud on top of me, what I knew to be the weight of him on top of me and him trying to pry the phone out of my fingers.
And the driver pretty much said that he thought that she was the aggressor by what he could hear and see in his car.
Driver's name is Naveed Sarwar, and he said this in court. I was feeling something was going on in the back seat. Majors wanted to get rid of Jabari. I saw they were fighting when the car stopped. Jabari was yelling at Majors and they were having an argument. I had a feeling Jabari had hit Majors earlier, the way she was fighting, and the sounds based off of what he heard, it sounded like she had hit him.
This stuff is out there that she was the aggressor and she lied. The state was quick to prosecute Jonathan Majors, but they said we have no interest in prosecuting her for nothing she did.
That's crazy. I wonder if they can then after the fact. I wonder if he could do something.
You can sue anybody, but the ain't got she was a makeup bitch on set.
Oof.
Ain't nobody making no more money in the movies no more. Them motherfuckers got AI playing you.
But I don't even know what she looked like.
If you saw it, you would be like, her.
Who
She ain't even no bad. The bitch who set him up ain't even no bad bitch.
Yeah, no.
She was a Caucasian woman that he met on set, from what I understand. If you on set and you mess with the little wardrobe girl, you about to mess up your whole movie. They'll set you up if you got something to lose.
What happened exactly, do you know?
No, I don't know. She's unconscious. She's naked from the bottom down. She has a sweatshirt on. She's my ex-partner. We broke up. I banged on the door. I've been at the apartment for about 40 minutes now. I couldn't get in. I finally went downstairs and asked the doorman to help us. They let me in via the handyman. She sent me text messages insinuating this much. I stayed in a hotel last night. I came home this morning.
The jury saw video from police body-worn cameras.
A doctor testified for the defense this afternoon that Jabari's ear wound was not, in fact, consistent with a blow to the head, as is alleged.
It's a lesson so many men have to be taught. You're not in control. You think, I'm going to treat good. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. That is going to be standing on the plaintiff's side of the courtroom with people who have been trained to destroy you, pointing at you like you ain't shit.
Greetings, you polite savages. Welcome to another Tip Talk. Well, it appears that the judgment was a little too premature in the Jonathan Majors trial. It appears that perhaps, just perhaps, the wheels of justice are going to turn in the right way, and Disney, the most woke company on earth, knew something that you fools didn't know.
He was running to try to get away from that psychotic Becky, trying to attack him. And you know, the interesting thing, TMZ and all of those people, they didn't have that footage for a minute. I get these people didn't have that footage for a minute, and they're just now releasing it. And again, there were a lot of people trying to jump on the feminism bandwagon against our brother Jonathan. When the dominant society creates a certain narrative, we as black folks got to be very careful not to jump on that bandwagon and try to dogpile.
She claims that Majors assaulted her and the internet hated him.
There is no room to defend or deny anything that we are currently told about his action.
Evidence that supports that he is an abuser.
Jonathan Majors is a real-life villain.
There is visible injuries.
But what the accusing heathen didn't realize is that there was a mountain of evidence against her. The driver of the car saw and heard everything.
So we've seen the evidence, we've seen the tapes, we've seen what's going on, and it just baffles me how this trial is even still in motion. So what happened was basically you seen Jonathan Majors doing a 100-yard dash away from this woman, getting out of a truck in the middle of traffic, pushing her back into the truck and running away. Now, allegedly she's been assaulted. Who in the living world in their right mind chases someone who just assaulted them? Who runs towards danger? What is she, a first responder? What is she trying to win a medal? She's in fear of her life. This man is dangerous. This man has scared her. Oh, woe is me, but she's going to chase him down the New York City streets when nobody was making her. This is a lie, point blank. And anybody who's supporting it, all these people in the comments saying that this man, he should be stripped, Marvel should get rid of him.
New evidence brought to light accelerates the idea that Disney has needed to replace Jonathan Majors as Kang in the MCU for a while, and they certainly should now. Forbes Entertainment.
Even if Disney was waiting for an actual guilty verdict to release some kind of decision on Majors' involvement, recent evidence entered into the trial should warrant an immediate end to him being in the MCU.
Even the arguments that his lawyers are making just makes him sound very guilty, very abusive. They do need to recast.
He's lost millions and millions of dollars in good and celebrating. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. What if it was your child? What if it was your son? What if it was your husband? What if it was your brother being accused? The law is set up this way for a reason. You should not be prosecuted. Your life should not be destroyed. Yet we still do it in this social media age because we are horrible people when it comes to judgment.
A man with some money and status in America today, women go insane. And this is what men got to deal with. If you got the bag, if you got status, this is your life. They've had all this video since then, and they're still trying to prosecute him. They're telling you that this is evidence of him assaulting her.
The money, the opportunities, the elevated status, the envy of other women was why Jabari stayed in the relationship. Some people say Majors was manipulating Jabari with self-deletion in those texts. But oh, on the contrary, my polite savages. Look at this situation through Jabari's eyes. Major's a man with mommy and daddy issues. A sensitive man is an easy mark for a serpent woman to manipulate and control. Jonathan Majors, issues stemming from his father abandoning him when he was young and not getting the necessary guidance and love from his mother, allowed an attack vector for gold-digging women, shedding crocodile tears like herself to exploit.
My temper, my trauma block, all that said, I'm a great man. A great man.
If anyone can listen to that recording and not comprehend, he's obviously showing his authority over her. He admitted to his temper.
Jonathan Majors is a nut job. Calmly degrades his women while he continues to refer to himself as a good man, while admitting to having a temper.
Many men, even myself, who's known to be very calm, cool, composed, and collected, have been known to lose our temper from time to time. I'm sure you can find an ex-girlfriend here or there that'll focus on a couple incidents and say to everyone you've had a bad temper. This is a classic shame and blame tactic of some ladies out there. You ladies love turning molehills into mountains.
He beat me up. You mean the one whose fear of his life running down the street from you? Yes! Are you afraid right now? Yes! Even while you're chasing him? Yes! He's a threat to me. If this is what can happen to these guys, what the hell do you think's gonna happen with your unknown man?
This is literally a way to gaslight men into thinking that we are these toxic, oppressive men. It is mentally exhausting and emotionally manipulative. This man shame, blame, and guilting public perception strategy is even causing white knight blue pill males who know no better to rush to the defense of these sinister serpent-lying women.
And he moves his hand in a way to say that he is scared about her. You get your hands off me.
Now, here's the thing, man. If you out in the streets with a woman, you are basically setting yourself up to be destroyed if you don't know her.
Shows Majors lifting Jabari into the air and throwing her into the back of a cab. Majors sprinting through the streets of Manhattan as Jabari chases him. Prosecutors say the evidence showed Majors manhandling Jabari.
Hey, come on, man. As someone who's been in a toxic, abusive relationship before, I can admit I've done some embarrassingly strange things after getting in altercations with my ex. It's a mixture of feeling gaslit, not wanting to completely let go, and adrenaline.
Throwing her is a stretch. Manhandling, please. How come the media didn't say how Jabari was constantly getting in Major's face, grabbing on his arms and restraining him from leaving, but somehow he manhandled her? See how the media used inflammatory trigger words to have you believing it was all Jonathan Majors' fault for this incident. This is a woman who seems to me to act out impulsively in an emotionally charged, mentally unhinged, and physically aggressive manner like what happened in the SUV. Yet the media focus on the character assassination, which is a deliberate and sustained effort to damage the reputation or credibility of an individual.
She testified he had mood swings and a temper, the jury seeing text messages purporting to show Majors dissuading Jabari from going to the hospital.
Jabari says she was scared of Majors.
and detailed several instances where Majors would allegedly fly into a rage, attempt to control her behavior, yell at her, and throw glass objects around her.
So those 2022 texts are a convenient way for people to push their own personal biases against Jonathan Majors. Jabari's score on an alcohol use test indicated she was at risk for a potential drinking problem. A hospital visit by Jabari could have put Jonathan Majors in a position where people falsely assumed Jonathan Majors had hit her. Once again, it was a dick move, but if you were in his position on the fast track to success on a rocket ship to superstardom, her accidentally hurting herself from being blacked out drunk could falsely lead to a false accusation against Jonathan Majors.
There was a lot of objections that were sustained, specifically from the doctor who was able to articulate that these injuries don't seem to be from the same manner that Grace Jabari said that they came about. Doesn't seem to happen from the way that she described Jonathan Majors.
Hear how this biased reporter says how the doctor kinda proved that Majors couldn't have caused Jabari's head injury, and also scoffed at the doctor's expert opinion. This reporting is displaying his bias towards Majors with his selective word choice. Pay attention, people. Watch how they use the system against you to oppress and suppress your rights and version of events.
How dare you come home drunk and disturb the peace of our house? Coretta Scott King, that's Martin Luther King's wife. Michelle Obama, Barack Obama's wife. I am doing great things. Not just for me, but for my culture. The woman that supports me needs to be a great woman.
Jonathan Majors' controlled focus catapulted himself into the spotlight of fame and riches. Control that brought him fame and fortune was unfortunately unable to tame a wild free spirit in Grace Jabari, a woman that doesn't even realize her own chaotic nature. Jonathan Majors couldn't get Grace Jabari to fall into alignment with his purpose and his program, and the more he tried to control her, the more it backfired. And wham bam, thank you ma'am, here we are talking about the assault trial of Jonathan Majors instead of focusing on what's happening next with King the Conqueror.
If Jonathan Majors would admit to the abuse and needing help, he'd have more support. But instead, he chooses to abuse Grace Jabari further with this trial, gaslighting the public and twisting the truth.
To live in a time where the simple act of being accused is sufficient for people to think you're guilty. The simple act of being the accuser has everyone convinced that you're innocent and have not capable of wrongdoing.
Vet your woman carefully. If she's not willing to fall into your purpose and program, kick her to the curb and move on. When a woman that has multiple red flags comes into your life, bringing the chaos and the collateral damage your way, then it is really your fault for putting up with the embodiment of chaos itself in a woman like that.
Women, girls, however, they are more aggressive than males if you measure aggression differently. They use reputation destruction. Reputation destruction, that translates to social media unbelievably well. So maybe it's time to have a little chat about toxic femininity.
Oh yeah, you polite savages. We're going to tell some truth in this here house tonight. Oh yeah, we're going to tell the truth to shame the devil. Well, what should be the penalty when Melissa Ford makes that nasty pivot and tries to pin an underage situation on Cameron and Mace? What should be the penalty for that? When you just see, you can see in her eyes that she was just doing something horrible and trying to put something horrible on the men. Oh yeah, well, what should be that lady's pivot when she, that baseball player who lost 2 years off of his career and hundreds of millions of dollars, and it comes out in text messages that she was just setting them up and trying to get the bag. What's the penalty? If you keep letting people run amok and run wild, if you keep letting women do whatever they want to men's reputations with impunity, then they're never going to stop, just like anyone else. Anyone else, if you just get away with lying, what should be the penalty? This woman is putting text messages at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, 38, 40 times that she wants to talk to this man. Obviously, she was scared of him. Not. You chasing somebody you scared of down New York City. Then you so scared you go out to the club after where people get falling down drunk and go back to his apartment. I mean, you rich, right? You an actress, you could go and get your apartment. You got his credit card. You could have rented any hotel room you want. You pay for your drinks with his credit card, but no, you go back to his apartment that you know he has a key to and pass out in his bathroom, but you scared of him. So I say this, you polite savages. Let's get this conversation cracking in the comments. I say this, ladies and gentlemen, these lying harlots, horrible women's penalty should be the exact same penalty these men would have got if they would have got convicted. Like always, like and subscribe. Thank you for 20K subs. And you can always do one thing. You can ask yourself one burning question. Can you handle the tip? Boom. Booty in your face. We out.
That's all I got for you, you polite savages. Like and subscribe. Hit us up on all social media networks.
We found true happiness.